ABC13 Eyewitness News starts now.
A 2-year-old was just playing in the yard when he was shot several times.
That violence happening just after 6:30 on Gillette in the 4th Ward west of downtown. Police are telling us the boy is expected to be okay.
But at this point, we know the people who shot him are still on the run. ABC 13's Luke Jones live at the scene as police continue to gather information on this one. Luke.
And right now they're really pleading for the public's help with any additional information. The investigators just don't have too much to go on tonight. No descriptions of suspects and only vague descriptions of 4 vehicles that were driving down Gillette Street here when those shots rang out. Now, this all happened around 6:30. There was a large crowd gathered, children among them, when that shooting happened. Witnesses are telling police they're pretty adamant that at least some of those shots were coming from a black pickup truck, possibly a lifted truck, but at this point it's unclear if shots were coming from any of the other cars that were following that truck or who those bullets were intended for.
We don't know if the persons in that vehicle were shooting at that crowd, somebody in the crowd, or at the vehicles that were following them.
Now, one thing police are pretty sure of, there were at least 2 shooters. They say this because they were able to recover shell casings from 2 different types of guns, one a rifle and one a handgun. We're live in the 4th Ward tonight. Luke Jones, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Luke, thank you. Now to more breaking news on yet another problem on a United Airlines flight. A plane made an emergency landing tonight in Los Angeles due to a problem with the hydraulic system. United says the plane landed safely and no one was hurt. This is the 4th incident involving a United plane this week and the 2nd today. The first happening at Bush Airport. An update on that situation in just moments.
And how about we take you here? Spring breakers descending on Galveston to enjoy a week of sun and some sand. But police tell us they're increasing patrols to handle the crowds, and it's a good idea to pack a light jacket in those beach bags because a front rolling through in the next few hours.
Yeah, Chief Forecaster David Tillman is here with the cool start to your spring break. Hey, David.
Yeah, hi there. It's been a little warm and muggy over the last several days in Galveston, but it is not going to be that way this weekend. It is going to be somewhat cool with low humidity, and it's going to be breezy coming up on Saturday. Look at that wind north at 24, gusting at times to more than 30 miles an hour. It won't be as breezy coming up on Sunday, but it's still going to be chilly, starting out at 54 and ending up at 64. Reason why? We've got a cold front that's slicing through southeast Texas as we speak. There's not a huge temperature drop with the front so far. That's going to happen as we get into tomorrow and Sunday. But look at the wind coming in behind the front, gusting to 30 there in Brenham, 32 in College Station, and we're going to have winds gusting a lot like that as we head into tomorrow coming up. Front's not bringing much rain with it, so we're just going to see basically a drop in those temperatures into the low 50s by 7 a.m. By the time we go through the rest of your Saturday here in Houston, temperature only makes it to 64 degrees, 65 on Sunday. Then we begin to warm up next week with rain coming late in the week. I'll have all the details later in your forecast.
David, thank you. Tonight, Governor Greg Abbott says Houston police will face, quote, consequences over the suspended case scandal.
Yeah, he hasn't exactly said what this would look like, but right now HPD investigators are reaching out to sex crime victims whose cases were suspended. They represent around 4,000 of the 265,000 cases officers just stopped investigating. Now, the majority of the other cases are property crimes, and to be realistic, those are unlikely to ever get a second look. ABC 13's Jessica Willies spoke with 2 victims tonight in Jessica. This is the first time we're hearing from the people impacted by the scandal since we learned about it 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, Eric, today we spent the day trying to track down some of these victims. You know, they called police, filed a report, and thought something would come next, having no idea their cases were essentially closed.
We were really missing a piece of us. He was our family member.
Tyronza Carmouche remembers the day her beloved French bulldog was stolen.
My dad called me. He told me that somebody had taken the dog.
It was early last December. A neighbor said someone had been lurking before her father found the gate open and Mello gone.
We called the police.
They filed a police report and thought the theft would be investigated.
Yes, most definitely. He's a $10,000 dog. I would definitely hope so.
I thought, like, maybe I parked somewhere else and just didn't notice.
About 6 weeks later, across town, Catherine Brooks called police when she realized her Kia sedan had been stolen.
I was shocked because something that never happened to me.
She expected a follow-up call from a detective.
I even had a tracker on the car.
It never came.
No, I got nothing. I had to repeatedly call them. It got to the point where I just lost hope.
ABC13 found the 2 cases among the 265,000 that have been suspended since 2016. The department now scrambling with what to do with lingering sex crimes, assaults, burglaries, theft, and the list goes on.
That's heartbreaking because those people deserve justice. I mean, my situation compared to some of those others, it's not nowhere near the same. And those people deserve that justice.
Tyronza and Catherine were not aware their cases went nowhere.
No faith whatsoever. I don't trust them at all. This was just eye-opener for me.
There's no trust with them right now.
Both say police have to do better. This mom can't bear to give up.
You know, we still look for them. We still hear the random dogs barking and we run looking for Mello.
Jessica Willey, ABC13 Eyewitness News.
Jessica finally putting those names and faces to these cases. Thank you. And breaking news now from the Texas-Mexico border. At least 3 people are dead in the crash of a helicopter with members of the National Guard on board. The helicopter went down in the small town of La Grula in Starr County in the Rio Grande Valley. Authorities say 4 people were on board, 3 National Guard members and a Border Patrol agent. 3 people were killed. We're told a 4th is in critical condition.
You could say it's been a bad week for United Airlines. We talked about the emergency landing at LAX tonight. It's the 4th major incident since Monday, 2 of them here in Houston. ABC 13 anchor Elisa Rivas joins us tonight, and all of this right as spring break gets underway. Elisa.
Maybe making some travelers nervous. So, Eric, we wanted to talk to United on camera tonight, but they said no, only telling us in a statement that safety is its top concern. Around 8 this morning, a flight out of Memphis veered off the runway at Bush Airport. Passengers and crew were evacuated. Nobody was hurt, but they were scared.
Like it was just a sudden, very forceful jolt. And what the heck happened?
So this evening, the airport put a tarp around a fence to hide the view of the plane, which has been there all day. The incident, a giant exclamation point on a rough week for the airline. Just yesterday, a tire fell off a plane in San Francisco moments after takeoff. It destroyed cars in an airport employee parking lot. And on Monday, passengers on a flight out of Bush recorded flames shooting out of the engine. The airline says a piece of bubble wrap got sucked into it and burned. With the exception of tonight's incident in LA, all of the planes involved this week are made by Boeing. That company says it is supporting United and investigators. Safety of Boeing's planes have been under scrutiny, especially since that door blowout on the Alaska Airlines flight earlier this year. You remember that one. In an interesting development, Boeing says it is now incentivizing employees to build safer planes. This week it announced it'll place more emphasis on safety and quality when determining employee bonuses and less emphasis on financial results.
A scary situation. Thank you. The Harris County Sheriff's Office believes the man accused of shooting and killing 12-year-old Carlos Fernandez is getting help evading law enforcement. Today, we heard from investigators who warned suspect Terry Brian Ramirez is armed and dangerous. According to Carlos's mother, Ashley Rostro, she and Rivera had a previous relationship. Rostro says the night Rivera tried to break in through her bedroom window, Carlos tried to defend his mother. That's when he was shot. According to court records, Rivera has a violent history of abuse against family members and Rostro. We're told the last time Rivera attacked Rostro was just days before. It's alleged Rivera grabbed Rostro by the neck and threw her to the ground, even brandishing the gun he suspected of using to kill Carlos. We're told law enforcement was called out, but Rivera was gone and the DA did not file charges. 48 hours later, Carlos was dead.
at the end of the day, we could point fingers all day long and say, he said, this should have happened. Hindsight's always 20/20. But, again, this transpired pretty quickly, even within 48 hours. And so this just so again, our focus is here. I've extended our deepest condolences to them.
Rivera is now charged with murder, and you are being asked for help to find him. Anyone who may know where he is asked to call police and help bring justice to Carlos and his family.
And still to come, he was one of the last Buffalo soldiers. Family and friends of a Houston man are remembering the life of Sergeant Major James Williams and the barriers he broke.
Plus, as we get ready for the biggest night in Hollywood, a local film critic tells us the toughest race to predict and who he thinks is going to take home the Oscar.
And we're also 1 month away from a show in the sky. Texas could be one of the best places to see the total solar eclipse. What you need to know if you're heading to another viewing spot and what you can see right here at home.